Our next keynote will shift the focus to collaboration, and in this talk we will explore how strategic collaborations accelerate the circular economy and unlock economic growth, showcasing successful examples of cross-sector partnerships that are already making a difference. Please welcome the City of Vienna Endowed Professor for Circular Economy and Transformative Business Models, Circular Economy Forum Austria, Karin Huber-Heim. Applause.
Thank you.
This is just fresh hydrogen for the forest.
Thank you. I hope I won't need it so badly. Thank you very much for giving me the opportunity to highlight the importance of partnerships. For all we heard, we need to get out of the bubbles that we are in, out of the silos. But how do we do it? And the greatest innovation, and we heard this term quite often now, the greatest innovation of our times actually is the radical collaboration that we need to really build a true circular economy. New materials, new technologies, we will do that, no problem. But to radically collaborate and do things different, this is our time. Thank you. Next slide. I have to direct a little bit here because this is not working well. A circular economy actually is a revolution of innovation, but also of collaboration. And we need to know that we need that for, unfortunately, you will have to push the button quite often. This is promoting new business models. This is value chains that need to be aligned for economic progress. And, of course, we all need that to create or reach that strategic autonomy that we need to see in a disruptive environment that the minister before also has mentioned. It's of utmost importance that we also collaborate not only with friends, but with partners. And remember, partnership does not mean friendship. Partnership has a mutual goal, and we can create and need to create those goals in a circular economy for everyone involved in the entire value chain. We also need a lot of things to make this possible, to make these partnerships fruitful and to make it work and to truly transform from linear to circular. We will need enabling regulatory frameworks that set the frame for the structure that we rebuild or that we create newly, and we need policy support. We do see the policy support happening. Since 2015 up to 2023, 24 states in the EU have built circular economy policies. And it's ongoing, and we will soon, all of our states will have those. Tax incentives, subsidies for circular innovations. It could be public procurement policies. Whatever helps on a national level, but also on a European level, to create those partnerships for new markets is very much needed. We also need circular business models. We heard from my previous speakers quite some good examples also for those, but they are still limited in scale, depth, and in the speed of adoption. We need to see much more of it. It's not about substituting materials and taking them around in circles. It's way more than that. We need to create new value strategies around circularity. What that also needs, we heard that before too, is a shift in mindset, and that mind shift really needs to go from the individual organization and the individual organizational thinking to more of one that works in a collaborative network. We see way too much competitiveness against each other these days in industry than co-petition, working together, competing together for new markets, for innovative approaches. This is something that we definitely need to see more, and it takes a lot because we are not used to that. In the past 40, 50 years, it was me against everyone else. But the time of the lonely wolves is over. We need to hunt in packs. This is what made us strong. This is what made us the strongest species on this planet. We learned to collaborate and hunt in packs. So for the new future that we are looking for, we need to recover that old knowledge that we have. We are better in collaborating and we are better together. So the missing link of all of that is partnerships. The missing link to make that innovation, that circular economy innovation possible, is to find the right partners, find reliable partners, and find those who share the same goals. Definitely a point that is very much needed for those kind of partnerships that we are looking into is the financing. The transition costs will be high. They're estimated to around 55 billion annually in the EU. But what we need to see is strategic business-government alliances to de-risk circular transition and to provide financial and regulatory certainty. This transition cannot be done just by tax money, by public money, and it can also not be done alone by the private sector. There needs to be intense collaboration on eye level, and working together is the key. Next slide, please. The European manufacturing markets actually have a really, really large circular potential, and it's projected to grow from currently 31 billion euros to 100 billion by 2030, and also creating 500 new jobs by 2030. Let's believe the World Bank, and let's get at it. Partnerships for innovation and technology, and we heard this from my previous speaker, Manfred Renner, was, not yet, but I heard it before, is really, really important because we need to collaborate in R&D, and we need to share knowledge to become faster. It doesn't make any sense to perpetuate or to build parallel universes of knowledge. We need to put them together and share that knowledge and build sound partnerships. We also need partnerships, business and public partnerships for skills development and education. It's a topic that is very dear to my heart as a professor at a University of Applied Sciences. We need to bring people into those new mindsets. So far, we are running into troubles because we all have not learned that. We all were not taught in systemic thinking. We all were not taught in collaboration. This is something we need to apply very much, and governance and businesses can jointly support that by, for example, creating workforce programs, training programs, or university business collaborations, or also consumer awareness campaigns are also very much needed, because we need to bring this new way of thinking into the world to the people to make them realize this is a good idea to do that. There are plenty of key opportunities for collaboration, but let me highlight 4 that I think are the most important. It's industrial symbiosis, making the waste of one the food for the next. Companies that share resources and waste streams. Public-private partnerships, cities and businesses that cooperate, co-develop, co-create infrastructure for new supply chains and create those structures where citizens can move in circles in. Because currently we have built structures where citizens, and not everyone is a consumer, remember that, where citizens only can move in a linear way. So this is something that we need to create. Finance and investment alliances are certainly key to create joint funding mechanisms and to de-risk this circular innovation investments that we need to take. That's the role of states. And then, of course, industry cooperation. This is why we are here today. Tech, manufacturing, retail, anyone from different sectors that is needed to create an innovative circular value cycle, not a chain. Cycles and networks is what we need to close material loops and to bring circular business models to life. I will end with a few examples. for this. Kalundborg Symbiosis in Denmark is probably the most well-known and successful example of symbiosis where different sector industries are working together to share energy, water and materials, and no material is lost in the making, which is a great message that we see is working at a large scale. So this is not a startup. This is really working. Achieving more with less, creating circular solutions for a business like Siemens Mobility, who has a system that covers the entire life cycle for their rail vehicles, including services, is dependent, highly dependent and very well working because of its extensive ecosystems that they created for suppliers, for sustainable material companies, for recycling companies. It works on big scale. Construction can go circular if you bring the entire value chain together, like Mondi does that. In Spain, they have started, they're doing this in Austria, they will keep going in Italy, to bring materials where no waste streams currently, recycling streams for material are available, are going to be created by those who are part of that entire value chain. They bring them together with a manifesto and create throughout all the stakeholders a solution collaboratively that everyone can carry and implement. Last but not least, the financing collaborations, very important, and a really good example that I would like to see in many other countries as well is the financing for transition Cope Group Circular Financieren in the Netherlands, where the competitive banks team up together with public authorities, with the ministry to fulfill and reach the goals of the Circular Finance Roadmap 2030 that has been generated together. A really great example. Call to action. Businesses. Do identify synergies. Do identify partners, reliant partners, stable partners. Invest in circular R&D. Do innovate, co-create solutions and promote that circular business model innovation. Do not get stuck in material substitution. It will not do the job for decarbonization. It will not make us reach our goals. It will not make us independent. Policymakers, incentivize those partnerships. Try to take away barriers and hurdles. Drive the demand for services and help creating those secondary markets, secondary material markets that we currently do not have. Industry leaders, lead by example. We need those examples. Advocate for circular economy policies and create industry-wide standards together with the makers of the rules and the laws. And I will end with the hope for you to be able now, through these 2 days, to imagine partnerships and how far you all could go, and it could take us all, if we partner and do this together. Thank you very much.